Do you want a point guard build that can knock down back fades from half court, dribble and speed boost to get easy wide open jump shots, and a build that can knock down these fades consistently even when the defense is tight every single time? This build gets every single shooting badge that you could possibly need to be an elite shooter in this game, and it gets every dribble move that you could possibly need to be an elite shooter. You guys see me taking these tight shots, red contest, 48% covered, and I'm taking back fades for the dub with confidence like it's nothing. And we couldn't forget about passing. With this build, you're gonna throw passes at the speed of light. I feel like I have crafted the perfect point guard build for NBA 2K24, and you guys can see the type of shots I'm taking with confidence: front fades, back fades, normal fades. And with this build, I have the ability to take over when the game is close and knock down clutch shots like you see here, seemingly carrying my team to wins. That's the ability that you'll have with this build. And you guys can see the percentage I just shot on a lock on a whole team trying to stop me the entire game. I'm knocking down 50% contested shots in the Pro-Am, breaking ankles on spin jumpers. Guys, this build is insane. I'm passing up wide open teammates and knocking down fades. That's how confident I am. And you already know it's a true point guard build. We are throwing lasers. We are throwing passes at the speed of light, and our teammates are knocking down shots consistently with the gold dimer. And don't worry, I understand that there's plenty of different play styles. Different players want to have different strengths and weaknesses, so I hooked y'all up with not just one version of this build, not just 2, 3, or 4, but 5 different versions of this build will be in this video. That way you guys will be able to play the way you want to play with this build, and of course with any one of those 5 versions you can make your own small tweaks to the build to make it the perfect build for you. So rest be assured, by the end of this video you will have the build that you need to become an elite point guard in this game. So if you find this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, hit that sub button, and turn on noties so you don't miss a thing. And without further ado, let's jump into it. All right guys, so right before we get into it, keep in mind I'm going to be showing you 4 different variations of this build once I'm done showing you how I made my personal point guard build. So if there's anything that you don't like about this build, make sure you check out the 4 other variations of this build. I personally made this build based around the way I play, and it's the best possible build for me and my play style. So if you guys have a different play style, make sure you guys check out the other variations of this build that I have in this video, because I'm sure that at least one of the variations is going to suit your play style. The timestamps for the different variations, of course, will be in the description and on the timeline. But of course, if you guys want to be dominant and play a similar play style to the way I play, make sure that you guys copy down these exact attributes from this first variation I'm going to show you, because this first variation is the one that I personally use. All right, so getting into the height, weight, and wingspan, I personally went with minimum wingspan, so 6'4", at a 6'4" height, and I went 209 pounds. And I went 209 pounds because I like having a different body type. I don't like being a twig out on the court, and 209 pounds still gives me the exact speed with ball and speed and acceleration attributes that I need. So I went with 209 pounds. If you guys want a smaller body type, feel free to go with a smaller body type. I just personally went with 209 pounds so that way I can be more bulky. I want to get burly. I want to get jacked. So I personally went with 209 pounds. Now, for your speed, go with 86, your acceleration go with 75, and then your stamina go to 96 stamina. Now, I went with the 75 acceleration because you really don't need a high acceleration in this game. Yes, there is a small difference if you go with a high acceleration, but it is not a big enough difference for me to sacrifice those attributes. Now, for the finishing, I went with a 77 driving layup, so that way I get the gold float game, the gold giant slayer, the gold pro touch, and the gold scooper. The gold float game, do not sleep on it. It's extremely good. And another reason why we go with the 77 driving layup is for the John Wall layup package, which is also very good. Now, for the stand dunk, I went with a 65 stand dunk. That way we get all of the standing dunk packages that you could possibly get on a guard. You get 2 standing dunk packages at 45, and then you get another standing dunk package at 65. Now, standing dunk almost costs nothing, guys. This attribute basically costs nothing. It doesn't really take away from any other attributes on the build, so it's almost stupid to not put standing dunk on your build, especially if you don't go with any driving dunk. Me personally, I went with no driving dunk because it takes up so many attributes and we don't really need it. When we have stand dunk, we're able to go under the rim and dunk the ball, whether it's off a cut or if we're dribbling, we can dribble under the rim and then go up for a stand dunk. So me personally, I went with no driving dunk, especially with how good gold float game is and how good the John Wall layup package is. If I want to drive to the rim, I can do so, and I don't need driving dunk. It really is not going to help my game and is not a part of my play style on a 6'4" guard. So that's why I put standing dunk on the build, and I highly recommend you guys do it as well, because it could definitely come in handy if you guys want to be able to run under the rim and dunk. Now, for the mid-range, I went with a 92 mid-range. The reason why I went with a 92 mid-range is for that Hall of Fame Midi Magician. Now, Hall of Fame Midi Magician significantly boosts your chances of knocking down any type of fading mid-range, spin jumper from the mid-range, hop jumper, literally any type of pull-up shot from the mid-range, you are going to be able to knock down at a higher clip with that 92 mid-range rating. And if you guys don't already know, a 90 plus mid-range gives you a huge green window from the mid-range, and mid-ranges are so easy to make and they're so effective in this year's game. You guys will see after I show you these shooting attributes, I'm going to show you guys gameplay of me utilizing these shooting attributes, and you guys will see how many mid-range shots I'm taking. This Hall of Fame Midi Magician is a must in this game if you want to be an elite point guard, and if you want to be elite at scoring, you need this in your bag. The Hall of Fame Midi Magician is extremely good, and mid-ranges this year are extremely effective, and they need to be a part of your game because the green window is so big. So definitely make sure you go with this 92 mid-range. And for the three-point shot, I went with a 98. The reason why I went with a 98 is so that way I get Hall of Fame Agent 3. You guys can see at 96, you get gold limitless range. At 97, you get Hall of Fame blinders. And at 98, you get Hall of Fame Agent 3. Now, I know that at 98 mid-range, you get Hall of Fame Deadeye, but me personally, I would rather have Hall of Fame Agent 3 than Hall of Fame Deadeye. So that's why I went with the 98 three-pointer, because blinders is going to be used more often than Deadeye, and that's why I went with this 98 three ball. Of course, you can see I went with the 83 free throw for the free points on silver, and then you guys can also see we get Hall of Fame Green Machine, Hall of Fame Guard Up, Hall of Fame Space Creator, Hall of Fame Corner Specialist, Open Looks. You guys are going to get almost every single shooting badge Hall of Fame, and that's why I went with that 98 three-point shot. With this rating, you guys are going to be able to become an elite shooter on this game, and the green window is going to be significantly bigger. So now I'm going to show you guys some gameplay showcasing the shooting on this build. Alright, so if you guys didn't already know, 2K Labs recently put out data showcasing how big the green window is once you get above a 95 three ball. I'm going to put it up on the screen here so you guys can see, and that is why I personally went with a 98. It's not just because of the badges, it's also because of how much bigger the green window gets once you get to a 98 three ball. And in this year's game, guys, you need the green window to be as big as possible. In this year's game, when there are defenders nearby or when you're against tougher competition, anything that's not a wide open shot is significantly harder to make, and that is why I went with this 98 three ball. A lot of people went with 98 mid-range builds to get the Hall of Fame Deadeye, but I personally went with a 98 three-pointer build so that way I get pretty much every badge Hall of Fame, and I get the extra percentage boost to my green window. Now, I also get Hall of Fame Agent 3, which the 98 mid-range builds don't get. And in this year's game, it is a lot harder to make fading threes consistently, so that's why I went with that Hall of Fame Agent 3. Now, you guys can see I'm also utilizing that Hall of Fame Midi Magician consistently, and I'm knocking down these shots from mid-range every single time. I'm taking spin jumper crab shots. I'm taking consistent tight shots from the mid-range, and I'm knocking them down. The mid-range has always been a big part of my game, and that's why I've adjusted really well to NBA 2K24, because this year mid-ranges are so effective. You guys could see the amount of mid-range shots I'm taking and the amount of fading threes I'm taking as well. I'm taking fading threes consistently with confidence because of how high my three-pointer is, And because of that big green window I'm getting, not only with the Agent 3, but with the 98 3-point rating. You guys can see I'm taking fading shots consistently all over the court, and it's a huge part of my game, and it needs to be a huge part of your game as well if you want to be an elite guard. And the reason for this is because it is a lot harder this year to get an open shot. If you want to be able to get open shots more consistently, you need to take fades, especially when you're against good defenders. And with these fades, guys, I'm knocking them down consistently with this 98 3 ball and 92 mid-range. You guys could see the Hall of Fame Agent 3 popping up at the top. I'm telling you guys right now, this build is all you need to be a elite shooter in this game. I personally think that this is much better than the 98 mid-range build, because the only badge I'm missing out on is the Hall of Fame Deadeye, but I still get every other badge Hall of Fame that the 98 mid-range build gets, and I get Hall of Fame Agent 3, which I personally think is more important than Hall of Fame Deadeye. That's just my opinion, but I strongly believe in that because of the amount of shots as a point guard you're going to be taking off the dribble. You guys are going to be taking almost every shot off the dribble as a point guard, and that's why you need that Hall of Fame Agent 3. You shouldn't need Deadeye if you're taking good shots. However, in this game, you will need blinders, and that's why we do get that Hall of Fame blinders at the 97 3 ball rating, but we went 98 for the Hall of Fame Agent 3. And that Hall of Fame blinders, guys, is overpowered. It's going to pop up all the time in the mid-range and from the 3-point line, and you guys are going to be able to knock down these blinder shots consistently like you see me do in this gameplay. And then, of course, we have that 92 mid-range, like I've already said. So we got that Hall of Fame Midi Magician. You guys are going to be elite shooters with this build, and you're going to be able to knock down shots at a high clip. All right, so for the playmaking, you're going to want to put your pass accuracy on this build all the way up to a 91. Now, me personally, I played on a 75 pass accuracy for the first few weeks of this game, and I noticed a significant difference, so big that I don't know if I could play without a 90 pass accuracy again this year. The lowest I'd maybe go is at 87 or 89 for the Tyrese Halliburton pass style, but I went with a 91, so we get the gold needler and the silver bailout. Now, we also, of course, get gold dimer, gold relay passer, Hall of Fame special delivery, gold touch passer, and gold break starter. That gold touch passer is extremely good, and the gold needler is game changing. Now also, when you get to that 90 plus pass accuracy, your passing speed is basically as fast as it can get. Once you get to a 90, you basically have Hall of Fame bullet passer from previous 2Ks, and your passes are going to be thrown at the speed of light. And another underrated part about this pass accuracy is you get the silver bailout. If you guys ever are about to pull up for a shot and you're about to get contested, you could perfectly pass out of the shot every single time. And this is now part of my game. And of course, you're gonna be able to throw perfect passes every time, and your teammates are gonna be able to knock down more shots because they're gonna get good catch animations, and they're gonna be getting gold dimer boost to their green window. All right, so for the ball handle, I personally went with a 93, and I went with a 93 because personally, I don't need Hall of Fame speed booster, and I don't need Steve Francis. Steve Francis to me is really overrated. I think De'Aaron Fox personally is just as good. There are plenty of people who would disagree with this, and they really like Steve Francis signature size up at 95, but me personally, I think De'Aaron Fox is really good, and plenty of comp pro-am guards use it that play at the highest level. So I personally do not need Steve Francis, and also I really don't notice a difference between gold and Hall of Fame speed booster. Like I said, there are plenty of 2K league point guards that play with gold speed booster, and you really cannot tell the difference. So I personally play with gold speed booster, and I personally cannot tell the difference between this and Hall of Fame, and it allows me to save a lot of attribute points and go with that higher pass accuracy. Now don't worry, of course, like I said, I have different variations of this build at the end of this video, so you guys will have different variations with that Steve Francis size up and with the Hall of Fame speed booster. And then of course, with that 93 ball handle, we get gold killer combos, gold handles for days, silver blow by, gold unpluckable. We get everything we need. And then we also get the gold hyperdrive, and we get gold triple strike. Now keep in mind, with 90 speed with ball, this is very key because we get the Kyrie Irving dribble style. This is a must-have dribble style if you are a point guard that's 6'4" or shorter. So that's why we go with the 90 speed with ball. I'm telling you guys right now, you're going to be dribbling and speed boosting just as fast as a guard with Hall of Fame Speed Booster. And if you don't believe me, just go check out the rest of the clips in this video, my entire intro, and then all of the gameplay clips that you just saw before, where I'm showcasing the shooting attributes. I'm doing plenty of dribble moves in those clips, and you guys can see that I'm dribbling just fine. However, if you feel like you need the Hall of Fame Speed Booster, like I said, I got you covered at the end of this video. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, do I really need a 91 pass accuracy? And you guys can see the types of passes I'm throwing. Now, in these clips, I'm using Jason Williams' passing style just for the animations because I really like how he throws flashy passes with an icon pass. Obviously, for competitive play, Tyrese Halliburton is better, but I'm using that Jason Williams pass style that you get in 90 pass accuracy. And you guys can see I'm throwing straight bullets. Like, the passes that you throw with this build, guys, are straight lasers. And the most important thing is that your teammates are never going to get a bad catch. I don't think you guys realize, if you're playing point guard, how bad the catch animations are on a 75 or lower pass accuracy. With this 91 pass accuracy, my teammates are catching the ball perfectly in stride, and they're able to dunk the ball, or they're able to immediately pull up for a shot and knock it down. And then the gold dimer, guys, do not sleep on this gold dimer. You saw how fast that pass was to the corner, and he's able to get that shot off with a boost to his green window that's significant because of that gold dimer. You can see that needle threader behind the back pass in between defenders for the easy dunk. I'm telling you guys right now, man, this 91 pass accuracy is something different. You saw how fast that pass was right there. I mean, guys, it's just insane. You guys are going to be the ultimate point guard with this 91 pass accuracy. You're going to be throwing dots. You're going to be throwing lasers. You're going to be looking like Tom Brady out there. So make sure that you guys do not sleep on this pass accuracy. All right, so to finish off this build, we're just going to max out our interior as high as it can go at 41. This is going to help us get contests consistently on those backdoor cuts. You guys would be surprised. As long as you have good positioning and you have your hands up with the right stick, you'll consistently make opponents miss around the rim. And me personally, I just play corner defense on this build, so I guard whoever's in the corner, which is usually the lock. So I have no problem getting stops on this build. When you guys are playing on this build, you want to make sure that you have a lockdown defender on your team that's guarding ball, because you can see our defense is extremely low. But like I said, you're going to be able to get contests on this build with that 56 perimeter. Once you get that up, you'll be able to contest them at least on the perimeter. They won't be able to just shoot over you, and you're going to be able to contest them in the paint. Now, if you want defense, I got you covered right now with the next version of this build. However, this is what I personally went with because it suits my play style. And as you guys saw from the gameplay, I am an elite player with this build. And as you can see, once you lock it in, you're going to get shades of Trae Young, Steph Curry, and Steve Nash. And the official build name is the Classic Playmaking Sharpshooter. Now let's get into the other variations of this build. That way you guys can get the perfect build for your play style if you want a build that has different attributes from the one that I personally use. All right, for the second version of this build, go 6'4", 209 pounds with a 6'8" wingspan. Again, you could go lower in weight if you want. But as you guys can see right here, this is the second version of this build, and it is much more well-rounded to suit other play styles. We have an 80 driving layup. This is going to give us the Trae Young driving layup package, and it's going to give us Hall of Fame Pro Touch. So you're going to be able to finish even more consistently around the rim, and that Trae Young layup package is extremely good. You don't need driving dunk when you have that layup package. So we're going with the 80 driving layup. And then stand dunk, you're going to have a 45 stand dunk. So with that 45 stand dunk, you're going to get 2 standing dunk packages. Whenever you're under the rim, you're going to be able to dunk the ball. For the shooting, we got an 84 mid-range. Now, this 84 mid-range is going to give us Gold Mini Magician. You need an 84 for the Gold Mini Magician. And 84, you're going to be able to knock down mid-range shots very consistently with this Gold Mini Magician. And then, of course, as you can see, we got the 94 3 ball. At a 94 3 ball, we get Gold Agent 3. You need 94 for Gold Agent 3, so that's why we went with a 94. And then, as you guys could see, you still get Gold Blinders, Gold Deadeye, Silver Limitless Range, Gold Catch and Shoot, Gold Green Machine, Hall of Fame Guard Up, Hall of Fame Space Creator, Hall of Fame Corner Specialist, Hall of Fame Open Looks. This build, you're going to be able to knock down shots at a very high clip. Obviously, you're not going to be as elite as a build with a 98 3 ball, but you're still going to be an elite shooter if you are extremely good at timing your shot. For the free throw, go with 71 for the bronze free points, and then pass accuracy, go with 77. 77 is the minimum that you want on a point guard because you get bronze needle threader. And then for your ball handle, you're going to want to go with a 92. This is going to give you the gold speed booster. You guys already saw it in the clips before. Gold speed booster is basically no different from Hall of Fame, so that's why we went with the gold speed booster. And at 92, you get De'Aaron Fox signature size up, which is extremely good. It's almost as good as Steve Francis. 90 speed with ball for the Kyrie dribble style. And then as you guys can see, we get 84 perimeter defense on this build. You guys are going to be able to lock up on this build. At 84, you have the silver challenger, you have silver fast feet, and you have silver pick dodger. This is going to get you consistent contests on the perimeter. You're going to be able to slide your feet and stay in front of ball handlers, and you're going to be very effective on defense. And then, of course, as you guys can see, we get the 85 steal. At 85 steal, we get the silver glove, interceptor, and right stick ripper. And if you guys haven't played with silver glove yet, just know that it's kind of overpowered. You're going to get steals consistently with the silver glove, even on guards with a 95 ball handle. I get steals consistently with this on my 6'9" guard that has 85 steal. Trust me, if you're using that right stick ripper, you're going to get consistent steals with that 85, and that's what makes this build so well rounded. I really like this second version of the build because you can finish consistently at the rim. You can knock down shots at an elite level if you're an elite shooter. You could pass really good. You could dribble. You get the Kyrie dribble style. And then, of course, you can play defense. You are a threat on defense, and that's what makes this build stand out. Now, let's jump into the third version of this build. All right, now this build, very similar to the last one, but as you guys can see, now we get the 92 mid-range instead of the 84, so we get Hall of Fame Mini Magician, which is going to make you an elite level shooter from the mid-range area. We get a 65 stand dunk for all the stand dunk animations, and then we get a 91 steal for the gold glove, the gold interceptor, and the gold right stick ripper. You won't have as high of a perimeter defense, but you're going to be elite in the lanes, and you're going to be able to get consistent plugs. All right, for this next version of the build, it's going to be very similar to the first version, the one that I personally use. And as you guys can see, the main difference is that instead of the 92 mid-range, we went the 84 mid-range, so that way we get the gold mini magician. We have a 45 stand dunk, so that way we get the 2 basic stand dunk packages. And as you can see, this time we have a 77 pass accuracy instead of a 91. The 77 is still viable. You are going to be able to make pretty much every pass you need to make. Just sometimes they won't get good catch animations, and the pass speed won't be as fast. You also won't be able to throw as tight of passes through defenders like you can with the gold needle threader, but 77 is still viable, and plenty of comp guards that are playing in the top Pro-Am leagues have a 77. Now, another key difference, I told y'all I got y'all with a version with the 95 ball handle. With the 95 ball handle, you're going to be able to get Hall of Fame speed booster, and you guys are going to also be able to get that Hall of Fame hyperdrive. Now, with the Hall of Fame speed booster, you're also going to get that Steve Francis signature size up, which many people go with the 95 ball handle specifically for that dribble style. So you're going to be able to get, or not dribble style, sorry, signature size up. So you're going to be able to get that Steve Francis with the 95. And then, of course, we have that 91 speed with ball. You need that 91 speed with ball for the Hall of Fame speed booster. Now, we also have the 83 acceleration, and the reason why we go with an 83 acceleration is for the gold blow by. So that's why we go with the ratings that we have on this build. And like I said, guys, I personally do not see a difference between Hall of Fame speed booster and gold speed booster. It's a very small difference. It's not a huge difference, but if you feel more confident and more comfortable with the Steve Francis and with the Hall of Fame speed booster, this version of the build is for you, because as you can see, we also get this 98 3 ball. So we get the Hall of Fame Agent 3, we get the Hall of Fame blinders, we get the gold limitless range, Hall of Fame green machine, all of these Hall of Fames. The only Hall of Fame that we don't have that I would really like to have on this build is the Mini Magician, but gold is definitely viable, especially if you're taking good shots. All right, so this next version is another offensive juggernaut, and this one is for all my point guards out there who love to have a driving dunk. As you guys can see, we got the 80 driving dunk on this build, and that's going to allow you to get quick drops off one once you hit starter 3. Now, of course, you get plenty of other good dunk packages at an 80 driving dunk, and you're going to be able to get those right now with this rating. As you guys could see, we also get the 92 mid-range shot, so we get Hall of Fame Mini Magician, and then we get a 94 3-point shot, so that way we get the gold Agent 3. Now, you guys can see we also have a 95 ball handle, and then we have a 90 speed with ball. So we will not get Hall of Fame speed booster, but like I said, I really feel like you don't need Hall of Fame speed booster in this game. Gold is just fine. You're going to be just as fast. It's really such a small difference. It's not very noticeable, but however, 95 ball handle, you get that Steve Francis signature size up, which is very important for a lot of guards. A lot of guards rely on this Steve Francis signature size up, so I got y'all with that in this build. And then the 77 pass accuracy, of course, like I already said, you're gonna be able to make plenty of passes that you need to be able to make. You're not going to be as elite of a passer as a 91 pass accuracy, but you're going to be able to make all the passes you need to make, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. If you want to be able to dunk, you want to be able to shoot, and you want to have Steve Francis, you're going to have to go with a 77 pass accuracy. That's just the sacrifice you're going to have to make, but this is still a very viable pass accuracy. And then, of course, we don't really have much defense on the build, so make sure you're guarding the lock or whoever the weakest player is on their team on offense. Make sure that's who you're guarding. And then, of course, as you can see, we got the 86 speed and the 73 acceleration. It's a lower excel guard, but like I said, it's really such a small difference if you're running point guard with the acceleration that you really won't notice a difference. Now, of course, this build is extremely good and well-rounded because you have that driving dunk, and that's what makes this build stand out from the others. So if you're a guard out there who loves to have a driving dunk, but you want to be able to shoot from the mid-range and the three-pointer at an extremely high level, and you want to be able to do all of the dribble moves possible in the game, this build is for you. All right, so for the final build, this is an extremely popular build amongst a lot of point guards right now. A lot of top point guards in the Pro-Am, in the 2K League, are running this point guard build right now. And as you can see, this is the 98 mid-range build that a lot of people are making on their 6'4 guards and on their 6'6 guards. The reason why people are going with this 98 mid-range is very simple. Mid-range is much cheaper than three-point shot. And because of this, when you go to 98 mid-range, you actually get all of the Hall of Fame badges that you could possibly get besides Agent 3 and Limitless Range. So as you can see, we get Hall of Fame Blinders, we get Hall of Fame Deadeye, we get Hall of Fame Catch and Shoot, Green Machine, Guard Up, Space Creator, Comeback Kid, Midi Magician, Open Looks. You get all of those just from the 98 mid-range alone. So that's why this guard is becoming extremely popular. That's why this build is becoming extremely popular, is because of this 98 mid-range. It's giving you that Hall of Fame Deadeye and the Hall of Fame Blinders at a cheaper cost. Now, of course, as you can see, we have a 94 three-point shot, which gives us the gold Agent 3, and that is also giving us silver Limitless Range. Now, Limitless Range is not very effective this year. That's why a lot of top guards are going with this. Of course, once Limitless Range becomes more effective through patches, which I'm pretty sure it will, guards will start potentially changing their build to gold and Hall of Fame Limitless Range builds. But as of right now, this is quote unquote a meta build because Limitless Range is not very effective. You get gold Agent 3 and you get an elite level mid-range shot. You guys already know how crazy mid-ranges are. You're gonna be able to make crazy mid-range shots with this 98 mid-range. You could literally be getting guys in your face. You're gonna knock down shots consistently. And like I said, you get that Hall of Fame Deadeye, which you do not get at a 98 three-point shot. You actually need a 99 three-point shot to get Hall of Fame Deadeye if you're going on the three-point side. But on the mid-range side, you get Hall of Fame Deadeye at a 98. At a 98 three-point shot, of course, you get Hall of Fame Agent 3, but that's the trade-off here. Now, another thing I really like about this build is that you get an 89 pass accuracy. This is going to make you an elite level passer. Once you get to the very high 80s, very low 90s, your pass speed is about as fast as it can get. There's almost no pass speed difference between, say, an 89 and a 99. This has been proven on multiple different channels. So that's why 89 is so good. Now, on top of that, why is 89 really good? You get the Tyrese Halliburton pass style, which is known as the best pass style in the game. It's the fastest pass style in the game. You're going to be able to pass the ball extremely fast, and then you're going to have an extremely fast pass speed because of the 89 rating. Now, you guys already can see that you get that gold dimer, which is very key, very effective, and you also are going to get bronze bailout. You're going to get silver needle threader. You're going to get gold relay passer, gold special delivery, silver touch passer, and gold break starter. So 89 is extremely effective. The main reason why you're going with it, of course, is for the Tyrese Halliburton and the faster pass speed, but you also get the perks of the Gold Dimer and the Bronze Bailout. Bronze Bailout, don't sleep on it. It's probably the most effective bronze badge in the game, because as soon as you have this badge, you're able to throw bailout passes at an extremely efficient rate. Like, you're going to throw dots out of bailouts. So that's why this pass accuracy is very key. Now, of course, as you can see, just like my main build, you have a 93 ball handle on this build, so you get gold killer combos, you get gold speed booster, you don't get Hall of Fame speed booster, and you don't get Steve Francis. But like I said, you get that De'Aaron Fox signature size up, which I personally like more than Steve Francis. I really like De'Aaron Fox more than Steve Francis. I just like it when I'm coming up the court. I like it because you could speed boost out of it easier from different angles. I like the De'Aaron Fox more, so 93 is perfectly fine for me. I don't need a 95. And with the 93, of course, you are going to get gold unpluckable. You're going to get all the badges and dribble moves that you need, minus Steve Francis. And like I said, I use De'Aaron Fox instead of Steve Francis. And then on top of that, we get the 90 speed with ball, so we get the Kyrie Irving dribble style. And then we get that gold hyperdrive, and we also get gold blow by with the 83 acceleration. So this is an extremely good build. You can be a dominant point guard on this build. You're going to be an elite shooter, an elite passer. You're going to be able to finish around the rim with the 73 layup. This is a really good build, and I highly recommend going with this build if you want that Hall of Fame Deadeye.